1997 SF5 Forester. It's a JDM model, so it's a TTB, Touring Turbo. That means it comes with nice nifty armrests for your arm while you're out touring, an EJ20G turbo engine, and all mated to an automatic 4EAT transmission. Now my one's had a little bit of tickling here and there. This is my second Forester. First one I called the D Forester for reasons which I will hopefully put a photo up to explain. Long story short, my first Forester had stuffed suspension, and that naturally didn't go well when I was out on a cruise with the local Subaru club, and parked it sideways into a tree, and yeah, it became the D Forester. And yeah, I had to sell that poor old car after I'd spent a shit ton upgrading it with STI components. It had an STI ECU, I think they're 440cc yellow injectors out of an STI, along with a matching airflow meter, 2.5-inch catless exhaust, and version 7 STI suspension. It hauled ass, absolutely hauled ass. But yeah, things happened. I got sick, ended up at on sickness benefit, and I couldn't afford to fuel the thing. It's my biggest regret selling that car, but now I've got this one. So this one is pretty much as close as I could get to the first one in terms of look and spec. It's got different wheels, it doesn't have a spoiler, but it's still an SF5 TTB with an EJ20G like the first one. I haven't upgraded it to the STI stuff. I'm sort of in two minds about that. Main difference between the D Forester and this one, which I tend to call either the FOS or 16108, matching its chassis number, is automatic actually is rather handy for what I use this one for. So the first one, I used it for being a bit of a boy racer. I hooned about in it, got my first ever speeding ticket in the D Forester. This one, I tend to do more of overlanding kind of stuff in it. It's my fishing car, I take it to the beach, it absolutely dominates in the sand, and yeah, she's all good. What I've done to this one, I have added a couple of 27 watt LED spots up the front, little light bars. They're currently wired into the high beam, and technically that's no longer warrant of fitness road legal, so I'm going to have to wire in a kill switch to that. Luckily I've got a nice slot here down on the dash. What else have I done? I've got a Subi Lift Oz 1-inch lift in the front, and the reason I've only done the front with the Subi Lift Oz kit is because the rear actually has some heavy duty lift springs in there, and they were in it when I got this FOS. Not quite sure what brand they are. They look like they're Tane brand. They're the same green. But other than that, yeah, I've mostly left this stock. The biggest, obviously, non-stock component is the snorkel, and there's only a couple of Foresters here in New Zealand that actually run a snorkel. My one was probably one of the first, if not the first. I'm running an MK Mitsubishi Triton snorkel on this, and I haven't really done too much to really massage it in there. If you look real close down my right hand guard, one of the bottom bolts is undone just because it pushed the guard in so tight I couldn't actually open and close my door. Bit of heat gun, and I could probably actually do that bit up, but it doesn't do any harm. But that's all into the factory gearbox. The only performance, I say performance in inverted commas, modification this car has is a set of Redline Chinese exhaust headers, and yeah, they're not the best for my application. As I say, I take this FOS off-road a wee bit. It's got Maxxis Bravo 771 all-terrains on it, and yeah, the Redline exhaust hangs about 8 to 10 centimeters lower than the stock one. But I'm putting up with that because the stock one, being 21 years old now, I failed 2 consecutive 6-monthly warrant of fitness tests on it because the uppipe had this lovely habit of breaking in half. So not only would the car sound like a tractor, I wasn't getting boost spooling right, and yeah, there was a bit of the old carbon monoxide getting into the cabin, which is never good. So yeah, this is my Foz. I do have a few other bits for it that aren't on it at the moment, mostly because they're locked away in a storage locker. I have a roof basket, which has been absolutely handy as hell. The biggest trip I've done on it so far, went with a group of mates, and I've hopefully still got the footage of that. But we went up 90 Mile Beach on a bit of a fishing weekend mission, and as I say, the Foz absolutely dominates in sand. I was there with a Nissan Safari, an Isuzu Bighorn, a couple of other big trucks, and yeah, the little Foz was loaded down to the gunnels, but she did it. She did me proud, and yeah, we just had an absolute blast that weekend. Got back and sort of, yeah, wasn't too stoked with how the Maxuses were looking, but then I sort of did a bit of maths, and they've done about 45,000 kilometres, those tyres, and they're only now just starting to look like they've about had it in terms of wear. So I might actually go for those again, because they've proven to be a pretty damn good tyre. Yeah, so plans coming up in the future for this Forester are, oh, I'll just let this lady past. Yes, so plans for the future, I'd like to actually put a full exhaust system on this. It's currently only got those aftermarket headers, but obviously we all want to put a bit more power into our cars, and freeing up the exhaust will give me a lot more grunts to use. And I also want to reinstall my custom sewer lid bash plate. So when I put the new exhaust on, that meant that, oops, this person's going through. Love you indicating, love. Yeah, I'd like to reinstall my sewer lid bash plate, which is basically about 8 or 10 mil thick aluminium plate, and I had a mate up in Auckland cut that up for me, and we custom bent it to shape, and then I got the new exhaust and it doesn't fit anymore, so I need to make some spaces for that to make it work. I'd also like to make one out of similar material for my transmission. Now, I have kind of tossed up the idea of putting in a low range Forester or early Legacy transmission in this. We did get them on all New Zealand new vehicles here from Subaru in the 1990s to about the mid 2000s, and yeah, they don't do a huge amount of gear reduction, but they do enough to make a difference. And this being auto with a nice slow tuning transmission, it's great on the sand, but you just can't get the revs up very quickly, so it does make it a bit dull to drive, a bit laggy, especially compared to the new family car, which is a BR9 Legacy with a EJ25, and that thing just hauls in comparison, even though it's got a CVT. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have a 13-inch light bar as well I want to add, just to give me a bit more lighting when I go out fishing at night on the beach, because there's proven to be quite a lot of interesting things there to dodge on the beach at night. And I wouldn't mind getting a bit of an awning for it. But yeah, other than that, she's going strong, and so long as that 221,000 and change kilometre old EJ20G holds up, I'll probably keep the engine and driveline as is. If it does blow up, I'm in two minds. I might go for an EZ30D. They can be had for reasonably cheap here in New Zealand, but they do require a engineer's certification if you swap them into your old Subaru. Or I might go a slightly different way and get an EJ22 for this and do the low range transmission. But yeah, that's my Foz. Hopefully I'll do a few more of these videos, because yeah, they're a good bit of fun to put together. I do have a few trip videos that I put together, but yeah, we'll see how we go. I do have a baby on the way. Little Sprocket's due in about a month's time from when I filmed this, so life's about to change dramatically. Other than that, hope you like this video, and yeah, hopefully I will catch you on another time on my channel. Cheers.